excited to be here. So today we'll be doing some sharing about Luna and also just a general overview ecosystem of this Terra ecosystem. Before that, just a brief introduction about myself. So I'm the founder of the Babylonian. So I have a website and a YouTube channel that talks about crypto, how crypto works and all these kind of things. Yeah, so recently, Terra Luna is my biggest position. I founded this token like early this year in 2021, around February when it was $2. Then I went all in with my portfolio and yeah, until now I still think they are the biggest bullish catalyst token in the space out there. Okay, so let's begin. So what is Terra Luna? To start off, Terra Luna, the first thing first is they are doing this decentralized algorithmic stablecoin. So that is their primary focus. And what this means is that it's a stablecoin that will always be pegged to $1. So their stablecoin is called Terra UST, and this Terra UST will always try to maintain its peg at $1. And how does this work? So this stablecoin does not have any collateral. That means there's no USD, there's no real money inside some treasury, and also there's no crypto collateral. So it's just a token that says it is $1. But there must be a way to adjust itself to be always to maintain this peg at $1, right? So that is what is meant by algorithmic stablecoin. It's through some algorithm to always maintain at $1. And how it works is there is this on-chain stability mechanism. So this on-chain stability mechanism means that on the on-chain, the rule is that for every $1 UST, you can burn $1 worth of Luna. So how this UST is created is through burning $1 worth of Luna. And how UST is removed or destroyed from the system is through creating $1 worth of Luna. So Luna is the token that will be used to burn and create this stablecoin $1. So now you have this Terra UST that is $1, but it will not always maintain at $1 because due to market demand and supply. So let's say if there's a lot of demand for UST, it will go above $1. Let's say it's $1.05, right? So there will be some arbitrageurs come in through some incentives to bring down the peg to be $1. And how you do it is you burn Luna on chain for $1. So remember the rule here is you can burn $1 worth of Luna to create $1 worth of UST. And since UST is selling at $1.05, then you can make a risk-free profit, right? So let's say 100 Luna, you burn, you create $100, and then you sell it $100 at the exchange for $105. So in that way, you profit from this risk-free arbitrage difference. And so this is a process: burn Luna, mint new UST, you create new UST, then you sell it to off-chain, then you earn this risk-free profit. So likewise, if the UST is below $1, then you buy UST on-chain. You buy UST off-chain, then you mint Luna on-chain, and you profit from this difference. So the idea here is that if the stablecoin economy does well, that means if a lot of people are buying UST, then that will be very bullish for Luna because a lot of Luna has to be burnt, and that will decrease the supply of Luna. So in short, Luna absorbs this short-term volatility of UST, and in the long run, they are compensated with network fees as a reward in the long term. So here is a diagram of how it works. Probably it's easier to understand. So let's say you have this UST demand and UST supply here. Right now it's at $1, right? So let's say a lot of people come in want to buy UST, and this UST demand would go up. So when it goes up, the peg will be broken already. So it will not be $1, it will be worth $1.05. And how do we bring back $1.05 to $1? You have to create new UST supply. And this new creation of UST supply comes from burning Luna. So Luna will be burned on chain, and then people will sell the UST off chain. So this will create a new supply of UST, and then the peg will be bring back to $1. So likewise, if a lot of people start selling their UST, then they have to bring down the supply, and they would buy UST off the exchange, and then mint Luna and profit from the difference. So this UST demand comes from external independent markets, and this UST supply is related with Luna supply. So this is the UST peg stability mechanism. So this is the very fundamental foundation of the whole Terra ecosystem, is this decentralized stablecoin, creating this decentralized stablecoin. So how does Luna accrue value? So Luna, this token actually has a staking. So when you stake a Luna, you receive a portion of network fees. And these network fees all go back to Luna stakers. Sorry. And so these network fees, because it's like blockchain, right? There's a network transaction fees, and it all goes back to the Luna stakers. So imagine if Visa stakes gives you a percentage of all the fees on their network, then this goes back to all the shareholders. So the formula for Luna dividends is the Chai transaction fees plus swap fees and plus network transaction fees, and you also get some airdrops. And this is not inflationary. They are not giving you tokens through inflation. It's through organic revenue cash flow. And Terra has a twin turbo engine, I'll put it. So they have this Chai system, where Chai app in Korea, where a lot of people are using Terra. So they are paying in Korean wons, but at the back end is actually converted to the Terra stablecoin using the Terra blockchain. And these are all the apps that are on chain that I think some of you are familiar with. So Anchor pays you 20% interest rate, fixed interest rate, and they do it through borrowers. They put their collateral down, and this collateral actually are yield-bearing assets. So these yields of the collateral will be used to pay the depositors plus the borrowing interest rate. So that's how Anchor works in a nutshell. Then Mirror is a synthetic stock asset. So they mirror the price of real-world stock assets in the crypto world, so you can trade these stocks on chain. So these are all the dApps that are currently live on Luna, on Terra. So the whole idea to understand this is that this decentralized stablecoin is their core foundation. They want to create this stablecoin, and they are encouraging developers to create all the dApps, and all these dApps are actually just features that use this stablecoin. So Luna as a token is used to create the supply of the UST. So this demand of UST will affect the supply of Luna. So in a way, Luna has a higher beta leverage as compared to other tokens in crypto. And all the network fees are...
你这上面买卖的
and so sorry, so all these network fees goes back to Luna. So that's how it works in a nutshell. And you can see that this is the UST market cap for this year 2020. So Mirror and Anchor are the first two applications. Mirror launched this year January, and Anchor around March April. So these two dApps have contributed to the rise of Terra UST. So now we are at about 2.6 billion market cap, and so when this goes up, right, when the market cap of UST goes up, there's a lot of Luna has to be burned, so the supply of Luna has to go down. Right, that's how that's what drives the price of Luna up. So now there is this Terra 2.0. So Terra recently went through a Columbus 5 upgrade on the 30th of September or 1st October. So they upgrade to Columbus 5. And what are the changes of Columbus 5? So these are all the summary of it. So seigniorage is when you swap Luna to UST. So before that, a portion of it goes to these community reward pools and Oracle rewards. So this community pool is like they accumulate the fees, and which will be used to fund the ecosystem. But right now, all of the Luna will be 100% burned. So that is the first change. And the second change is that all the Terra on-chain swap fees will actually be given back to Luna stakers. So before that, it is actually burned, but now it's given back to stakers. And third is IBC. So Luna is built on Cosmos SDK. And Cosmos SDK, Cosmos is now doing IBC, inter-blockchain communication. So now they have already submitted a proposal. And when this enables, it means that Luna, Terra can talk to other blockchains that are also using the Cosmos SDK. So all the blockchains that are on Cosmos, they will start to interact with each other. And fourth is Stargate upgrade. So this is just general performance parameters, faster transaction speed, lower gas fees, and all these kind of things. And fifth, Ozone. So Ozone is insurance. So insurance mostly will be used to fund Anchor. Anchor now has about 4 billion plus in deposits. So this will be is some kind of insurance. And fifth is Solana wormhole. So Solana also is creating some bridge that will connect Solana to Terra ecosystem. And there are a lot of protocols coming out after Columbus 5 upgrade. So before that, you can see it's only like 3, 4, or 5, right? But after Columbus 5, there's like 20, 30, 40 protocols coming out. So this is very, very, very bullish for Luna, because again, if a lot of people are using all these, if this UST market cap goes up, Luna supply will actually come down. So more protocols, higher velocity of transactions, Luna supply goes down, and also when you stake your Luna, you collect more fees from the network. So this is Terra. Terra has also very, very close partnership with Delphi Digital. So Delphi recently just announced that they are no longer taking any consultation engagement, Delphi Labs, and they will be focusing more on incubating projects. And you can see that they are incubating all these protocols: Mars, Astropod, Lavana, Sabira. So 4 or 5 out of here, right, is all on Terra ecosystem. So they are spending a lot of their resources and energy and manpower all building dApps on the Terra ecosystem. Right, and yeah, so Terra has very close partnership with Delphi. They are very working closely with the team. So this is all the protocols that are going to come on the Terra ecosystem. So before that, you have this UST, which is their stablecoin, the Luna token, and then Anchor and Mirror. These three alone these four gives a very solid foundation of a lot of protocols to come in to create lots of derivatives and different ways to break down the composability of it and play around with it. So it's very interesting. So that's why so many people are interested in building on Terra, right? Because they have, first of all, they have a decentralized stable coin that not other blockchains have. So this is very important because having a stable coin in your application, I think is quite important. So these are all the main or key dApps that everyone is looking for. And this star one that you see here is all incubated by Delphi. They are related to Delphi Digital one. Yeah, so I will go through briefly what each of these mean. So over here you can see this color coding, right? This is roughly the idea is that they are built on top of Anchor. So let's say Anchor, they are giving out use 20% use, right? So you can use this use to build something out of it. So that's so Pylon, for example, they are using this use as a token launchpad. So instead of getting 20% use, you can say, okay, I don't want to get 20% use. I want to get a new protocol token. Or for example, Sabira, let's say for subscription like Netflix or Delphi Digital Premium, you can say, okay, I deposit $10,000 in. I want to use my use to pay for these subscription services. And Orion Money, they are just bringing stable coins from other chains like Ethereum to use Anchor protocol. And Mirror is synthetic stock assets, right? So all these Apollo, Sigma is the options that is using on Mirror also. So most of these protocols are using the Mirror assets to create some sort of derivatives from it. Okay, so this is the first project that I'm most excited about. It's called Mars Protocol. So Mars Protocol is like a money market. It's a bank. So a lot of people will not say confused, but compare this with Anchor, because Anchor also allows you to deposit collateral and borrow money. So they are doing similar things, but there is some differences. So the first difference is Anchor only allows you to deposit yield-bearing assets because they have to use the yields to pay to the depositors. But Mars Protocol allow anybody to deposit any crypto assets. So it's like Aave and Compound, you can deposit Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Avalanche. It doesn't have to have a yield-bearing component to it. So that's the first part. And the second is it allows for uncollateralized borrowing. So this is more for DAO or like company smart contracts. This kind of thing is not so much for retail because Anchor doesn't allow you to borrow money without putting in collateral. You can only borrow money if you are a depositor. So a borrower must first be a depositor. That's the case. But Mars doesn't allow you for that, and this will have more higher capital efficiency. Because you imagine, let's say a bank wants to open the credit line, he has to put down all his machineries as collateral, right? That doesn't make sense, right? And the third is dynamic interest rate. So interest rate in DeFi is usually have a utilization ratio. So it's based on the demand of borrower and depositors. So if a lot of people are borrowing and they will increase the interest rate to allow more depositors to come in and pay down the interest rate. And it works vice versa. But the problem with this is that it doesn't account for external interest rate. So for example, let's say there is a farming opportunity that pays 500% APY out there. And let's say there's a lot of borrowers in your protocol, then you increase to 90%. But at 90% interest rate, borrowers would still not incentivized to repay the loan because they can earn 500%, right? They will not be incentivized to repay the loan. And also depositors would not be incentivized to deposit with 90% interest rate because I can do it. I can get higher rates outside for 500%. So their interest rate model actually takes into account the external opportunity cost of the use out there. So that's a brief overview of Mars Protocol. It's built by Delphi Digital, coming out very soon in Q4. And all these protocols all coming out in Q4. That's why Q4 and 2022 onwards is a very bullish event for Terra. So next is Astropod. Astropod is like a combination of Curve, Uniswap, and Balancer. So now they only have a Terra swap, which use Uniswap V2. It's just you swap tokens, one token to another token. That is just a very basic model. But now, but a lot of tokens is better to use a different Curve model, right? So for example, Curve is better for stable coins and highly correlated assets like USDT to USDC or Wrap Ether to some other pet Wrap Ether, like tokens that are the same. So this is something that Terra Swap does not have, and they are planning to build it. And also they are going to do Balancer liquidity bootstrapping the model. So when you do a token launch like on Miso, you will use a Dutch auction method. So you list a token at a very high price, and then you will keep going down. So this prevent front running of bots and whales like buying out all these IDO launchpad tokens. So they are combining the best of all the DEX out there for different scenarios, all into this one DEX on Astropod. So I will imagine when you are interacting the DEX, when you want to swap one token to another, on the back end, it will automatically determine which Curve model is the best for your swaps to reduce the slippage. So Astro, one interesting thing is they have their own token, X Astro and VX Astro. So this is like sushi. You stake sushi, then you get 50% of the transaction fees. And this is like the Curve booster. You stake for a very long period of time, and you get the remaining 50% of the fees that are generated on the DEX. So that is Astropod. It's a next generation DEX. Next is Lavana. So all these are Delphi Digital projects. So Lavana is it stands for leverage any asset, and what their very first product is called 2x Luna. So derivatives is a very, very big market. It's like 4 times. It does, if you look at the spot centralized exchange, derivative volumes typically does 3-4x times higher than spot volume. So there's a very big market for leverage. And when you want to do leverage on Terra right now, it is very manual and troublesome. So let's say you want to do a leverage, you have to put your Luna as collateral on Anchor, then you take out a loan, then you use the money to buy more Luna, and then you put back into collateral, and you keep repeating. So there's like over 10 steps to keep doing until you reach a 2x leverage. So Lavana will simplify this process. And how it works is you will use a mass protocol on the back end. So again, the same process that I mentioned just now. You deposit, you use the borrow money, you buy Luna, you deposit again. So you keep doing until step 5, where it has all the 2x tokens. Then it divide accordingly, like let's say 100,000 tokens. So each token would represent 2x Luna. And they want to make it very simple for you to gain exposure for 2x Luna. So you can imagine on Astropod, you can just swap your Luna to 2x Luna in one click. So when you swap to 2x Luna, you immediately get 2x exposure. So if Luna goes up 20%, then your returns get multiplied. It is 40%. So that is Lavana, and also they are doing some NFTs, some dragon eggs thing where you can get special leverage or something like that. It's not so clear yet for the utility, and in the future they are doing perpetual swaps, so there wouldn't be any underlying assets to do any leverage. So next is Nebula. So Nebula is also a very potential promising project. This is by Do Kwon himself. Personally, he started this idea. So Mirror, Anchor, and Nebula. So these are all Do Kwon's project. And how Nebula works is it is focused on index passive investing. So you are like investing in a theme or narrative rather than having to pick individual tokens. So one example is like a DeFi theme, a DeFi cluster where you get exposure to Aave, Compound, MakerDAO, Anchor, Cream. And this will be automatically rebalanced through certain parameters. So this is like a index ETF that will always give you exposure to a narrative, and it always auto rebalance itself. So other narrative theme can be like some degen plays or some memes narrative or NFT narrative. Yeah, so there's a lot of possibilities around with this. And the other one is Prism. So Prism is also a very interesting one. So what it does is it breaks up the principal component and the yield component of an asset. So right now, Luna token, right now, usually people can only either stake Luna or they use the unstaked Luna to do something like provide liquidity or something. So there's a problem with staking Luna, because staking Luna, you lock your Luna up for 21 days. And when you lock your Luna out for 21 days, you get the network fees and airdrops, but you can't do anything with your stake Luna because it's locked up already. So you want to provide liquidity LP on some DEX, you can't do it, it's locked. And so people always have to balance between, should I stake my Luna or should I use my Luna for something else more productive? They always compare the opportunity cost of it. So what they do is they break out and split the principal and the yield. So you can stake your principal Luna with Prism and get the staking use plus airdrops. Then you can use your P Luna you can use your P Luna to stake with Prism to get airdrops and staking use. Then you can use your Y Luna, which represents the U component of it, to collect staking use and airdrops. So this can be very interesting because let's say if I am more interested in dividends. I don't care so much about the price. I can actually break up my Luna and swap my P Luna to Y Luna to get even higher staking use and higher airdrops. Or either that, I can use my Y Luna as a collateral or the money market to borrow money. And this collateral would be much less volatile as compared to using a crypto asset, because right now most money markets, you put Bitcoin, Ethereum as collateral, and this is very volatile. And when the price drops, you got a chance of being liquidated. But what if you can use the U component of the token as a collateral? So this UY Luna does not have exposure to any price. It only has exposure to the cash flow that is generated from Luna, which is the staking use and the airdrops, and they discount it back to the present value. So this allows for a lot of flexibility and composability, and there's a lot of interesting things you can actually do with Y Luna and P Luna. And next is Nexus Protocol. So Nexus Protocol is they have 3 vaults, right? So first is Anchor vault, and what they do is they maximize your use on Anchor. So right now, a lot of people, they are doing this, okay? They use their Luna, they bond their Luna as collateral on Anchor, then they borrow money and they put their money back into Anchor to get the extra 20%. And the problem with this is if Luna, you have to keep watching your liquidation TVL ratio. If Luna price starts crashing, then you have to either repay your loan or add in more collateral. So you have to keep monitoring this. And let's say if Luna price goes up, then you also have to you have the opportunity to borrow more and put more into Anchor. And Nexus does all this automatically. So it maximizes your yield and also maintain your TVL ratio such that you don't get liquidated. And the second one is called UST Vault. And UST Vault works very simple. So you deposit UST with them. They will use your UST to do a delta neutral strategy on Mirror. And this delta neutral strategy, it means like, because Mirror right now has a long farm and a short farm. So if you provide liquidity for, let's say, Tesla stocks and UST on Mirror, you get Mirror rewards. But there's also a short farm. So short farm means if you provide liquidity of Tesla and UST, you are shorting Tesla. And the reason why they do this is actually to reduce the premiums of the M assets on Mirror. So delta neutral strategy means you long and short at the same time. So let's say if Tesla price goes up or Tesla price goes down, you are neutral. You don't make or lose money, you are safe. So that's what they are doing. On the back end, you just deposit UST, but on the back end, they are doing all this and they give you back the use in UST. And third is ETH Nexus. So this is same as number 1. The only difference is they are doing it for people or protocols or dApps on the Ethereum side. So everything on number 1 is the same, but they will do it on Ethereum and they convert and they bridge the Ethereum ERC version back to Terra version. Okay, so this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the one, 6 is the ones that I'm more excited about. But there's also a lot of exciting projects coming up here that I will briefly talk about. So Talis is an NFT platform. Valkyrie is marketing, on-chain referral marketing. So you refer, then you get referral tokens in VKR. And White Whale, also very interesting. White Whale, because right now arbitrage of UST is actually done by market makers, and those usually have millions and millions of dollars to do this arbitrage, and you need a lot of technical resource also to be able to write all these bots and do it. It's not for retail to do the arbitrage. And White Whale is actually going to do the pegging of UST. So remember the first few slides I say if UST above $5 or 95 cents. So White Whale will do all this arbitrage and the profits will be given back to the community instead of those market makers taking all the share on their own. And this is also beneficial for the peg of UST, because again the UST peg is the most important fundamental thing that has to stay $1 at all times. If UST cannot stay at $1, the entire Luna ecosystem will collapse already. And Andromeda, this is also a very interesting project. So they are doing something along the line of NFTs platform. So this guy from Ethereum, this Ethereum OG dev that was involved in the ERC 721 for NFTs, actually came over from Ethereum to start working on this. So they will have a new standard called ADO, but this is still very much in the early stage of the project. And Angel Protocol is a charity organization, charity debt. So they just allow you to deposit UST, then you can choose which where you want to donate your money to. Yeah, so this is a brief overview of all the upcoming dApps that are coming on Luna. And this is cross-chain interoperability. So this, you can see that Terra is over here, right here in the Cosmos ecosystem. So Cosmos has like over 100 of blockchains that are going to enable IBC soon. So all these lines here that you see are actually different blockchains communicating and transferring data and tokens to each other. So in 2 weeks' time, they actually submitted this proposal yesterday. So in 2 weeks' time, around 22nd October, this Terra will be connected to all these blockchains in the Cosmos ecosystem. And by the way, Terra is the biggest blockchain on Cosmos by TVL. So one of the very first use case, you can imagine UST going to Osmosis. So Osmosis is like also like a DEX AMM. So there'll be a lot of pools for UST on Osmosis. And this is Solana wormhole that I talked about just now. And next is front-end UI enablers. So all these are the front-end part of applications that doesn't have a token. So Chai is the in Korea, South Korea, you use the card, you can pay for anything, like movie tickets or entertainment or food. You pay using this Chai card, but on the back end is using Terra blockchain. So the most hype one is this Alice debit card. So Alice is also a very stealth project that is in progress in development, and they are like the replicate of Chai but in US. So this Alice is actually going to launch in November. Maybe I'm not sure if it's launched, but in the Terra Alpha event that they say when, then they say November. So November there should be some interesting things coming up. Then TIC is for Australia, and then you have also Kapatut or something. This is in the Scandinavian, and Cash also is very interesting. This initially they are targeting the emerging market, but now they are opening up to the entire world. So again, it's all these different cards where you can use to pay for your daily necessities, but you are using UST to pay in the back end. And you can imagine, right, in the future, if they develop something like that uses Anchor, you put like 10,000 UST into Anchor or 50,000 into Anchor, and every day you are using the use of the Anchor to pay for your food. So that is some of the possible use case that is very interesting. And NFTs also has been gaining a lot of traction on Terra. So they did about 12 million in volume overnight on Random Earth when they launched Galactic Punk. Galactic Punk is this one. This is like the OG NFT, the very first NFT on Terra. And there are like 50-60 protocols, not protocols, 50-60 NFTs coming out. And the list is growing almost exponentially. And again, all these fees, network transaction fees, all will accrue value back to Luna stakers. Yeah, so with that, I think I've come to the end of this presentation. So if you want to know more about it, or you want to find out more about Luna, I actually have done a couple of videos on my YouTube channel. And if you're interested, you can also join the Telegram group, and this is my website. So yeah, that's about a brief overview of Terra Luna.
So any other questions for Yuesin? Feel free to type in the chat, because Yuesin actually he is a lunatic, meaning he do a lot of like transactions. He try a lot of things in the Luna ecosystem. So if you want to understand anything or any questions to clarify, feel free to ask him.
I think there's one question. Where is the best place to buy it? You mean UST or for Luna? So for UST, I actually have done a video over here. Okay, for Luna, because right now Binance is closed, right? Then what other exchanges there? Let me see. I've actually never bought Luna after this Binance ban news come out. I guess crypto.com and get from him. KuCoin. So KuCoin also sells UST also. So if you want to buy UST, KuCoin is one of the options. So I actually have done a video. So this is my YouTube channel, the Babylonians. So for UST is let me see if I can find this chart over here. So this is how you buy UST, either KuCoin or MetaMask. Then I guess for Luna, you just go for KuCoin or crypto.com or either of these exchanges is fine. Yeah. Oh no, the MetaMask fees you do it on Binance Smart Chain, so the fees are like a few cents only. Don't need to worry about that. Stake where you stake your Luna on this Terra station. So you go to staking, then you choose one of these validators to stake. And when you stake your Luna, you actually get a lot of airdrops. So let me see if I can find airdrops. And again, this airdrop idea is very interesting, right? Because you got 50, almost like 20, 30 protocols coming out, and all of these are going to rain airdrops to you already. So right now you are collecting Mirror airdrops, Anchor, Pylon, Loop Finance. I think they just launched today. So this list is going to be filled up in time to come. And you just but you must first stake your Luna here at the Terra station with one of these validators. Yeah. No problem, Eric. How do you decide which validators? So validators, usually you just look at their uptime is the most important one. So if like their uptime is not 100% on, or if there are certain blocks that they are not validating, then you might have a penalty for it. But generally the case, you don't have to think too much about which validator because almost all of them are fine. Then also another one to look at is the commission rate. So this is the validator commission. So if they charge higher, then you go for those that have lower commission rate one. And also some of the validators, if you stick with them, you actually get extra airdrops. So for example, right now I'm sticking with Neptune Finance. When you stick with them, you will have more airdrops from them. And also Nexus Protocol also giving their tokens, and the other one is Orion. Yeah, Orion is over here, first one. And you also think about decentralization because they have like almost 8% of voting power out there already. Yeah, and the SCB is also a validator for Terra actually. Fun fact. So SCB is the venture capital arm of Siam Commercial Bank, the Thailand Central Bank.